My friend Josh used to drive a Miata, but recently he turned it up to 11. Welcome to the 10K Showdown, a series where I take cars you can buy for less than $10,000, review them, and rank them against several criteria. In this episode, my friend Josh's JDM AE86, and it's not a true or no, so let's try and keep the initial D jokes to a minimum. With that being said, I'm sitting in a JDM 1986 Toyota Corolla AE86 Levin. My first time driving a right-hand drive car. This is a Recaro SPG medium. If you're wondering if I fit in it, I don't. But I fit on it. So that's how we're making that work. Brakes really sensitive, so we're gonna try and not make Josh upset while I drive this. It's the weirdest thing. It's like not as weird as I expected it to be, but it's still weird. I like the whole time I was prepping myself to drive this car. I was like, don't be that person that puts myself right in the middle of the fucking road, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And there I go, right to the middle. Hey, you want to reveal exactly how much you paid, or tell them that it was under 10?
Under 10. It's on coilovers in the front with camber plates, and then it has set spring height in the rear with adjustable dampening. I don't know exactly what they are. The owner, before the guy I bought it from, put them on.
So we came to this like roadway that, if you watch my Speed 3 review, you'll remember I discovered, which we thought was going to be empty all the time, but isn't. And I picked a really shitty time of day to shoot this video, because you can't see me at all, which is sick. But you can listen to me talk, and that's what everyone likes to do anyway, right? So those of you who have been a watcher of my channel for a long time know that this is not the first AE86 I've driven. I drove DJs of the More Skids fame, and while driving that car, one of my gripes with it was that, I wouldn't call it a gripe because I like the torque band that they have, but it's a lot like a Volkswagen 16 valve in that the torque is just not there until you get to a certain point. But once you get to that point, it just wants to go.
You can rev it all the way out too.
That grind thing? Okay,
that wasn't you.
That's good.
That.
That's good. I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
Side of the car, but you pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I would imagine driving it an hour or whatever back home, you got a hold of it pretty good. But I still think, I mean, I'm driving on a road where there's no people. There's gonna be a lot of stuff I still haven't experienced. And look at me fucking right in the middle of the goddamn road, dude. I swear to God, it's like, I can see where I need to be, but I look at these curbs over here and I'm like, oh, I'm too close to that. Like, naturally, looking that way, I feel like I'm too close if I can see this curb right here.
The lane positioning is definitely one of the big things to get used to.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other one is looking in the right mirror for when you want to move.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It's odd having to look like in the left mirror to try and like change lanes instead of just turning your head.
One thing I've heard a lot of is like, I don't know if you guys have these, but like blinking yellow lights when you're turning left. You have to like do the whole try and look around cars if there are any. And there's a blue top 4AGE, so 120 something?
130.
130. It's not a fast car, but that's not what this car is about. I just reached for the turnstile that's not there.
Yep.
And then I've heard Skylines, one of the big issues people have is that the stock on the left side controls the windshield wipers. This one has a dial for the windshield wipers. This is fun, dude.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's not bad to drive. obviously the setting in which you want to drive one. But even just on this little mountain road, we'll call it, that was the only appropriate place to take an 8.6. It just, like, no power steering obviously, but the steering is just so direct. And once you can get over the right-hand drive thing, if you're not used to driving right-hand drive, yeah. See, I keep taking these corners really wide, but
it's okay.
It's really, just really nice to cruise in. If it had a bigger seat, I'd be down with driving it all the time.
Yep, fits me perfect.
Yeah. Josh is a small dude, so the seat was practically made for him. But, man, it's just a nice car to drive. The brakes are extremely, like, he warned me before I got in. He's like, oh, okay, the brakes, like, pedals really soft, but they will bite hard. And the first thing I did, I'm pushing the brake pedal, nothing's happening, and just instinctively you push it more and just, I was like, oh shit, okay, I see what you're saying. A lot of people are gonna ask a lot of the specs. We already covered what the engine is, how much power it makes roughly, what the suspension setup is. I hope you could hear Josh all right. Wheels, a lot of people are gonna be real excited about the wheels because they are not replicas. They're a real Falcon RS Watanabe 2-piece. No fooling around here. Shit. I want to cut that corner so bad. Just because it's, What a good sound, dude. Ah, man. It's not raspy. It's not like a deep sound, but it's what you expect to hear out of this car. Like, a Honda 1.6 will never sound that good. I'm sorry, people. Your B16 does not sound as cool as its 4AGE. It just doesn't. And man, the steering, like I said, so direct, so nice to drive. The reason this one does sound this cool, it's got a full header back exhaust. Do you know what brand it is?
No.
Straight from Japan, at least, we know that much. This car was purchased by a guy in Okinawa who was in the Air Force. It's got a carbon fiber composite hood, which just means it's mostly fiberglass with a top layer of carbon fiber, which primarily the reason for doing that is for looks, but this one's painted anyway, so you never gonna know that. Front fenders are fiberglass as well, so there's nothing on this car that would ever give away that it was damaged or in an accident of any kind. There's nothing you can look at that would make you assume that. It's in amazing shape. The paint is in really good shape. And for a car straight from Japan that's this old, there is not a lot of rust on it. It's a really, really clean example. This car was hydroplaned in Japan and was put on a frame straightener, and over $10,000 was spent bringing it back to the condition that it is in now. Probably, honestly, better than the condition it was in when he wrecked it. But yeah. Oh, and it's an LSD, so that's cool. So maybe after he owns it for a while, we can talk him into skidding it. We'll see. Awesome. 100%. All right, ready? I'm gonna execute this turn properly. Look, if there was a car there, they'd be able to fucking get out.
There you go, dude.
I'm learning.
You're learning.
Well, hopefully you guys can see past the terrible lighting, and maybe I can get some shots of the car itself that'll make up for that. But I want to say thank you to Josh, especially, for allowing me to drive his car. Very fun car. I didn't quite fit in it, but he was completely willing to let me sit more on his seat than in it and take it for a spin. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm gonna cut to my voiceover self now and talk about the ratings. I just need to take a second to acknowledge that he has a real piece of Japanese bamboo to hold the hood up. Let me just preface these ratings by saying I'm not a huge Initial D fan. I do really like the AE86 though. Here are the criteria I used to rank the 10K Showdown cars, so let's get on into it with the JDM AE86 Corolla. Starting with excitement, the AE86 is a car that you get to use all the power all the time with. It's not a fast car, but it is a fun car to whip around corners. I would give it a 7 out of 10, but since this one's right-hand drive and that was an entirely new, exciting experience for me, I'm giving it 8 out of 10. Moving on to accessibility, while you can find a lot of JDM 86s for under $10,000, finding them in this condition in that price range is a little bit difficult. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Usability, I feel, is pretty obvious. It's a Toyota Corolla, it's got a big trunk, there's a lot of space inside, you could probably even get people in the back, and it's pretty decent on gas. I'm going to give it another 8 out of 10 here. Street cred is the easiest one of them all. Come on, it's a JDM AE86. Whether you're an Initial D fan, an import fan, or just a person walking down the street and is a little weirded out by the fact that it's right-hand drive, this car is easily a 10 out of 10 all day long. And based on those ratings, the AE86 is our current new champion for 10K Showdown cars with a total score of 30. If you have the means to pick one up, I highly recommend you do. And if you have any questions or comments about the car, leave them down below the video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.